Hey, what's going on, everybody? I ain't made a video in probably maybe a year. I kind of want to talk about the Hall of Fame game, Steelers and Cowboys, and this backup quarterback so-called controversy. I'm a part of a couple Steelers Facebook groups, and man, I'm gonna just put my opinions out there. From what I saw, I had to tape the game with DVR. I was working, come home and watch it. Man, I don't know. From what I've seen, I don't know. From what I've seen on these groups, I don't know what games they're watching, but you gotta stop calling Dwayne. It's Dwayne Trashkins, man. I mean, look, I'm hearing all these things in camp. He's pushing the ball downfield. He's taking shots, being aggressive. I ain't seen none of that. He had 13 pass attempts. He threw one over 10 yards. And guess where it landed? 10 yards out of bounds, over the intended receiver's head, behind him. Uncatchable. And we talking about he looked great? Look great at what? Like, y'all so desperate. These people are so desperate to be this guy to be the savior. I'm going to tell you right now. If Ben all of a sudden decided to retire after this year, and Haskins was our starting quarterback next year, I'll give you two guarantees. Mike Tomlin will have his first losing season, and guess what? We be in the basement at the AAC North. Telling you that right now. I've watched, from what I've seen of Haskins in Washington, and what I saw last night, it was the same guy. Again, it's not, his name's not Dwayne, or you can also call him Charlie. Check down Charlie. And funny thing is, Mike Tomlin actually said that. So I'm getting all this heat for saying all the guy does is check the ball down. But having this great arm, he sure don't take any shots. And let's get to Rudolph. I ain't never said I was a big Rudolph fan. I mean, I got videos criticizing and benching him for Hodges. I wish at the time Hodges didn't have the arm. You know what I mean? You give Hodges, Mason's arm, you put them together, there you go. And maybe a little bit more mobility. But I'll say this much. And everybody was bragging about last year's Cleveland game. Again, basically, the last game, whenever Mason had a great game. It wasn't a great game. We had 9 points going into the fourth quarter. He ended up throwing for like 300-some yards, but it was 4 or 5 deep balls against their practice squad secondary. But at least he took the shots. And there was times in the game he seemed like he was a little bit more poised, had a little bit more pocket presence. If he could learn to slide to the left, slide to the right, buy more time, and start, whatever, then I can see him being like I said, a productive quarterback, a backup right now. You know what I mean? But for everybody to trash Mason in this preseason game, what game were they watching? Claypool dropped an easy first down. He made some nice little out throws. Had one had a little in route to Johnson, screen pass to Johnson, and he threw a nice deep ball to Claypool. It was right on the money, 45 yards. He took a shot. And he's 6-9. He had one bad throw. It was a third down. He threw it behind Washington. Whatever. It's tougher to throw than it looks, obviously on TV. But he got away from him. Okay, one bad throw. The other was a throwaway, and the other one was a drop. So other than that, 6-9, and they're talking about, again, it was a botch fumble here or there, whatever. And like I said, that drop pass. But to act like Mason's horrible, and what Haskins did was great. If we were told who did great, Josh Dobbs got the ball off his hands. Josh Dobbs ran around. Josh Dobbs. If anything, whatever. You won't talk about Haskins looking better. But again, Josh Dobbs ain't going to get a second look. He's been with the team. He's a 4th-round pick. I don't understand where all this hype's coming from as far as Haskins coming from, dude. These guys been overrated. He's been all hype since day one in college. Look, he beat out Joe Burrow. We saw what happened with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow knew he was better. Transferred to LSU. Second-year LSU. Won a national championship. Had all kind of college records. Drafted number 1. And that's all she wrote. So everybody all of a sudden, for some reason, thinks this kid 1 year at Ohio State, like that's even top line competition. Sorry, he didn't play SEC football. SEC football is top college competition. Period. Other than that, I don't want to hear about it. Okay? He ain't playing no SEC competition. Whatever. I'm not saying the Big Ten's a slouch, but it ain't no SEC. Okay? So I'm gonna tell you this much. You can't. What you do in college doesn't guarantee any NFL success. Okay? Just because and the reason he's getting all these extra opportunities because he was a 1st-round pick. Well, guess what? These so-called draft gurus, these experts, these talent evaluators, these scouts got it wrong. Got it wrong. Kevin Colbert said he came out too early. He hasn't. What did he do Thursday night that was any different than he's done in Washington the first 2 years? And it's different. Really? Washington had a great defense last year. They still couldn't win. He got beat out by a 6th-round pick. Got outplayed, okay? It's by a 6th-rounder. And they can say, oh, it's his off-the-field issues, man. Nah. It's more than that, bro. You can make, let me tell you something. You can make plays in practice all you want. There's great practice players. What do you do when the lights are on in real live game situations? Again, he might be just a practice player, a camp player. They said the same thing with him in Washington. Oh, he looks great in camp. He's looking great. And then when the game comes, again, that's something mental. Again, you know what I mean? Again, because what I only can go, we all don't see. Unless we got past and sit there and watch him in camp and watch him in practice, we don't see none of that. We see what he does when it counts. And the guy does nothing except check the ball down. Check the ball down. I will say that's the one thing. And look, that was my problem with Mason back in 2019 when Ben had that elbow surgery and was out, was him and Duck. Mason, that's all he did was check the ball down because I think the game was moving too fast for him and he wasn't comfortable, so he was constantly being conservative. So again, he would just dump the ball off. And again, what did we do? We didn't win that way. We never aggressive. And at the time, at least Hodges did take shots, whatever like that, whatever. So I will say, from what I've seen of Rudolph, that last game last year, and a couple things I've seen now, I think the game's slowing down for him. I think he's going through his progressions. He's able to read the defenses, and he's taking shots. So in a way, he has made a little bit of improvement. He just got to, obviously his mobility's not there, whatever. He's a drop back. He's a pocket quarterback. That's it. And that's another thing, too. Oh, Dwayne, he can run. He can do it. What did he do? He scrambled. He ran 4 yards and slid down. This kid ain't no Lamar Jackson. Get out of here, bro. The guy sucks, man. And the thing is, everybody's like so desperate, like he's our savior. He is not the savior. To be honest right now, I mean, I'll tell you what. Bank, let me tell you something. Bank could play another 10 years and still be better than these guys, bro. I mean, I hope Ben don't retire for another 10 years from what I've seen. Because I don't know about any Steel fans now. I go back to pre-Ben of your Tommy Maddoxes, come on, Cordell Stewarts. And somebody was like, oh, Cordell, let me tell you something. Cordell actually had his moments as far as the quarterback being in Pittsburgh. All right? He took two of our teams to the AFC Championship game. Dwayne Haskins ain't going to take this team to the playoffs. He ain't going to take any teams to the playoffs. He'll be out of the league before that. I mean, he might be Jamarcus Russell 2.0, okay? Straight up. Oh, what's going on? What's your opinion on Dwayne Haskins, man? What's your opinion on Dwayne Haskins? Give me your opinion. Tell everybody what your opinion is on Dwayne Haskins. I call him Trashkins.
Looks like the same guy played Washington, man.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. And there you go. That's a Steelers fan from the 70s right there. See, you clowns, a lot of you clowns have been fans since 2007. Y'all don't know pre-Ben. Like, go back to those years. Mike Tomczaks, the Bubby Bristols of the world, even Neil O'Donnell, the Kent Grahams, whatever. Go back to that because that's where we'll be. Like I said, that was my gripe with Rudolph in the beginning. That's where Rudolph has made, like I said, a little bit of a progression. He's taking shots downfield. He's comfortable. He's not just checking down every pass play. So, but again, Arthur Moats made some type of comment. Well, they're not calling the same plays for Haskins as they're calling for Rudolph. Okay. Why aren't they? If they're calling for him in practice, why won't they call him for him in game? I keep hearing about the so-called great arm talent. Well, let's see it. Why not call the plays to take advantage of this guy's so-called arm that I haven't seen? This isn't college where you got wide open guys and the windows are wide open. This is the NFL. All right? So, until I ain't seen nothing different in Washington, you know what? It's best to ask a Washington fan, hey, was that a different Dwayne Haskins than you guys saw? From the little bit of tape I've watched him play or whatever, for a couple games I've seen, in 2 years he's been there, it looked exactly the same. Nothing. And talking about, you got people saying he looked great. Look great at doing what? Dropping the ball off for anybody can do that, man. Anybody can make those throws. That's not going to win you games, man. Period. So all y'all want to sit there this and all that, like I said, if that's what we got is to look forward to in the future, I hope Ben doesn't retire for another 10 years, man. Because that is bad. It's bad. You're not going to win that way. Okay? You're not going to win. So, and like they said, that's what his nickname's Check Down now. Because that's all he does. And I've been known that before he came to Pittsburgh. He's checked down. And I made that comment before we signed the guy when I watched him because, let's see. My chick's brother's got, they're all big Washington fans. And every time I watch the guy, that's all he ever did, just check the ball down. You know, like whatever, you know? So, again, if that's what you want to watch all game long, this and all that, more power to you. But, he's not going to get it done. And, come on, and that's another thing. I just got a camp report, I think yesterday. Mason had his best day. Dwayne Haskins getting picked off in 7-on-7s, man. 7-on-7s. So, the guy's record speaks for itself. You know what I mean? Like, he's getting chance after chance after chance because he was labeled a first-round pick. Well, to me, that just because you labeled a first-round pick, and the sad thing is like Dobbs looked actually pretty good. You know what I mean? But I know it's against third stringers, blah, blah. I like to see him, you know. I would make, hey, you know what? Fine, start one. Like Moach said it too. Start Haskins against the number ones. Give him his number ones against the defense number ones to see how he does. And then go ahead, put Dobbs in. Put Dobbs in back. Put Dobbs in right after that and see what he does. Well, I'll say Dobbs can move a little bit. At least he can run, but Haskins can't run. He's not mobile. So you need to get that out of your head. Whatever. So Rudolph, obviously, and again, it doesn't matter what I think or what anybody else thinks, but I'm pretty sure they think the same. They're thinking the same things too. Rudolph definitely is the clear number 2. And to be honest with you, I don't think Dobbs is going to make this team. I think he can outplay Rudolph and Haskins. But being that he's disposable, he's a 4th-round pick. And again, if the roles were reversed, Dobbs would be getting these extra opportunities. If Haskins was a 4th-round pick, he'd be out the league. They'd have no problem cutting ties. But see, that first round, like I said, that first round talent holds weight in this league. So you're going to get more opportunities than people drafted below you. Behind. So again, that's my opinion on it. If I'd like to hear your thoughts on it, like that, whatever. I've seen everybody else's comments. You got a few people, but most of these people, I don't know what they're watching. One pass downfield, nowhere near it catchable. Rudolph actually completed a 45-yard ball right on the money. Nothing, nobody talks about that. I don't know. Maybe watching 2 different games, or you know, I'm not trying to get on people, but they just don't know what they're talking about. And if you don't believe me, watch any of his tape in Washington. That's all he does. He'll look down the field, and all he does is drop the ball underneath, little dump offs and check down. That's all the guy does. That's the majority of the time. That's what I seen when I watched him play. Nothing was different Thursday night. All this hype and talk means nothing until he goes and does it on the field in front of everybody. And he hasn't done anything. So he hasn't beat out Rudolph. He didn't play better than Rudolph. So I don't know what these people are watching. And that's it. So I wanted to get that off my chest and make this video. And right now, I'm gonna leave you with this. Take away, they got him basically on a no risk, high reward. You know, almost like that rookie's future deal. 1 year minimum salary, no guaranteed anything. That's another reason why they're loving this. They didn't have to waste a draft pick. They basically got a 1st-round pick 2 years into the league without having to sacrifice draft picks or anything else. That's why he's going to get all these opportunities. But let's be realistic right now. If you had to pick 2 of these 3. It's Rudolph and Dobbs, clearly. He'd be on the outs. He'd be out. He'd be going. He performed the worst out of what I saw Thursday night. Just anybody who's unbiased like that or whatever can see that. He performed the worst out of those 3 guys. And I believe that Rudolph and Dobbs will continue to outplay him, but it won't matter. Rudolph will stay because he's got that guarantee. They signed him. They gave him some guaranteed money, whatever like that or whatever. Dobbs is probably not going to make the team. No matter how well he does, he's not going to make it. Again, there's too much. Again, they're putting too much weight and stock into this guy being a 1st-rounder, and they got him basically for nothing, whatever. So they're giving him every opportunity to so-called fulfill this, to live up to this so-called to potential that he has, and you know whatever, and continue to work with him. But it's not gonna add to anything. It's just gonna be a waste of time, and sooner or later, in a year or two, he's gonna be out the league. Jamarcus Russell 2.0. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good Sunday.